What's going on, guys? Adam here from AtoZbodyfitness, and today we're going to go over how you can lose 50 pounds of fat. So first things first, before I go over this, I just want you guys to know that, again, everybody's different. When it comes to losing weight, it's going to come down to obviously your nutrition and how you work out. Basic bottom line of how it works, okay? The other thing is how many calories that person will lose will differ between each person, right? Everybody's different. Not everybody is going to essentially get the same results around the same time frame. And it's going to come down to how intense you are and how often you're actually putting time towards this, right? Then there's things such as, like, you know, if people have injuries, their genetics towards their exercises and what they can do, mobility and flexibility issues, as I already said, basically how much time you're putting towards it, including your nutrition and your eating, and then essentially just on what somebody's daily life routine involves and what they're going through, what situations they're in. So there's a lot that can factor in at somebody's results and how fast or how long it'll take for them to get the results, right? The bottom line is, at the end of the day, if you stick to this routine and you actually put in the time, like anything else in life, you will see the results. And when something comes your way that you don't expect, whether it's with your training regimen, your eating, or essentially just anything in life, you work your way around it and you do your best to make sure that you can pile drive through it and keep it going in order for you to keep getting your results. Everybody, like I said, is going to have essentially different results at different times. Sometimes you might even get setbacks, right? Life gets in the way, other things happen. Who knows? Everybody's going through so many different things. But again, thing is to never give up, keep pushing forward, and you'll get the results you want. Okay, so the first rule of this is obviously caloric deficit. That's always going to be the number one thing when it comes to weight loss. Before doing any sort of exercise, whether it's cardio, weightlifting, and anything else in those areas, so to speak, you have to be in a caloric deficit, okay? You have to be eating less calories in order to lose body fat and in order to lose weight. If you want to drop the pounds, you have to be in a caloric deficit. If you don't, and you just continue to work out and push as hard as you can, and you don't switch up your eating habits, then you're essentially just not going to lose the weight. It's not going to happen, right? Law of thermodynamics. You need to be in a caloric deficit in order to lose weight. Now, having said that, I just want to touch up on one little thing before I jump to the next one. Some people, they either think or they consider themselves to be eating healthy, which might be the case, but it doesn't always mean you're getting less calories, right? Just because you're eating healthy, you have to look at what or how many calories are in that actual dish or that food that you're eating, and what is your plate portions? How many calories are you getting in with the amount of plate portions that you're eating? Because that matters too, right? Bottom line, you could be eating healthy, but it could still be a high caloric intake, and you might not be losing the weight that you think you're losing, even though you're eating healthy. Now, kind of continuing on that with rule number 2 is eat low calorie dense foods. Basic bottom line, when you eat low calorie dense foods, healthier foods such as anything with vegetables, certain higher carbohydrate chains such as like barley or oatmeal or quinoa will essentially help you to lose weight. But again, it comes down to the portioning as well. The thing is, these will generally have a lower calorie count, but you still have to know how many calories you're essentially taking in versus how many you're putting out, right? So having low calorie dense foods is going to allow you to be able to lose weight, and it's going to help you push you along the right path in order to continue to drop the body fat and continue to get to the body percentage that you want to get to. And one more quick thing I just want to add in, if you don't know what your caloric maintenance is, or essentially how many calories to deplete from your everyday eating in order to lose the weight, basic bottom line is, I don't essentially like to always do this because it's not always accurate, but it's something that can kind of help you get on the right track in order to allow you to lose weight. You can find a formula online that'll allow you to calculate roughly how many calories you are intaking and how many calories you should be losing. I'll provide a link in the description below so that you can click on it, and it can give you, again, a rough estimate of what you should be doing, right? But don't take this as set in stone, because again, everybody's different and these don't always calculate accordingly to what everybody needs or what they're going through, because depending on your job, what you're eating, how much you move, there's a lot of different factors that could contribute to how many calories you are actually eating and also how many calories you should be losing. Another way you can go about this is, If you're already eating in a structured manner, so if you're, just as an example, you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, and you're roughly eating around the same calories, reduce some of the food that you're eating already and you'll be in a caloric deficit, right? How many calories you'll be losing is going to be subjective to essentially obviously what you're subtracting from your food, but that's just another basic way that you can do it as well to start seeing some results. Another thing that I would suggest for people to do, moving on to the next rule, is to do full body exercises at least 3 times a week, especially if you're new to working out. The reason why this is essentially better just to do in the beginning, from my own personal opinion, is because if you haven't even started working out and you're brand new to the gym, or even if you've been on and off for the last number of years and you've never really known how to exercise properly, this is going to allow you to essentially get your body used to the movements and to the pressure of the weights. And when you move different body parts more than once during an exercise, you're going to essentially over time burn more calories. But again, this is provided that your nutrition and your eating regimen is in order as well, okay? But essentially doing 3 times a week at full body is the way to go. Now again, you can do this if you do a split routine too. You can still see results that way too. I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying if it's somebody who's looking to lose a lot of weight, generally speaking, when they want to lose 50 pounds or so, they've never really stepped into a gym, or they've essentially worked out a bit and they've been on and off fluctuating their weight when it comes to working out, and they don't know which direction to take. So for the first roughly 3 months, this would be the way to go. If you want to take another approach, by all means, you can do that as well. But this is essentially going to get more body parts working. It's going to cause you to sweat a little bit more, and it's going to cause you to burn more calories overall. Now, as you're doing your full body exercises for the first little while, also you want to add in HIIT exercises as well. Now, what I mean by this is you want to add in certain movements and exercises that's going to get your heart rate pumping a bit more, because the more you work and the more you essentially move, the more calories you're going to burn, right? So the amount of movement that you do, and then also the amount of intensity that you add with that, is going to cause you to lose more calories. You want to make sure you want to add in exercises that will essentially help you do that. So just as some examples, just to help you guys out and to throw some in here, is doing like Bosu ball slams, even like jump squats. Top squats are good, fast-paced lunges. Another one is burpees. So any of the exercises that I just listed and other ones like it, that'll essentially get your heart rate up a little bit more and will get you working even harder, is going to essentially be considered a HIIT exercise. Now, one other thing I want to know, when you're doing a HIIT exercise, you want to push yourself as hard and as fast as you can within generally a 20-second to a 30-second time frame. The reason why is because the idea of HIIT is to push yourself, again, as much as you can, raising your heart level up to its highest capacity for what you can handle during that time frame. Doing this is going to spike your heart rate, and it's going to cause you to essentially burn more calories and allow the exercise in the remaining part of your session to be even harder as well. Adding these in to your workout routine is going to benefit you and is going to allow you to burn more calories. Again, doing this over time and continuing to do it throughout each session as well. Just make sure when you do this or any other exercises, go according to what you can handle. If you have certain injuries that prohibit you from doing certain movements or certain exercises, of course, stay away from it. Be the best part of your judgment. Listen to yourself. You obviously know what you can do, as you're the one who's doing the exercises. Just push to the best of your ability. Keep doing what you're capable of at the time, and then slowly you create progression over time. But adding these in are definitely going to help. And the last thing I want to add in is to essentially drink more water. Now, why drinking more water is actually good for you? Because it doesn't necessarily correlate with actually causing weight loss directly. But what it does is, when you have water after you eat a meal, so whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you have your meal in front of you, you've eaten it, you've eaten your first plate. What the best thing to do is to have a full glass of water right after that, because what it's going to do is it's going to fill up your stomach, right? So again, when it comes to losing weight and being in a caloric deficit, we don't want to essentially go for seconds, right? Because generally that'll lead to more calories being put into our body, and then we might put ourselves into a caloric surplus. And if we do it repeatedly over time, we're not going to lose the weight. If you do it once here and there, obviously it's not going to do anything to you. But we want to get into a routine where we're not doing that at all, so that we train ourselves and we understand and we commit to essentially keeping strict on a regimen, so that we know that we're going to be in a caloric deficit every time. And then one of the best things to do, like I said, after you have a good meal. And to train yourself from wanting to have more because your appetite is used to having 2 or 3 meals is to drink a full glass of water, okay? Now, what this is also going to do, like I said, it's going to help suppress your appetite. It's going to keep you full. It's actually going to be better for your bowel movements as well. And it's just essentially going to help you towards your weight loss. So having a full glass of water with your meal every time is actually really good for you. All right, guys, if you liked the video and you have any other questions, comment down below. Let me know and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Also, if you're somebody who wants something put together for them and wants something a lot more in detail than what I gave you and essentially built and structured towards what you need, I also do online fitness training and planning as well. You can head to the link below. That'll take you to AtoZbodyfitness.com, and I'll be more than happy to work with you to build you an actual workout plan and a nutritional plan, and also give you other forms of guidance that will allow you to hit your goal within a time frame, and also show you why you haven't been hitting your goals thus far. All right, guys, let me know what you thought of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.